The lipstick smeared across my cheek was a color crimson, deep, bold, unmistakable. The same shade, I would later think, as betrayal. Liliana, my wife of 10 years, staggered to the front door just past midnight. She reeked of cheap tequila and a floral scent I didn't recognize. Not her usual perfume. Not the soft notes of lavender I'd grown accustomed to. This was something different. New. Foreign. Like her. "Sorry I'm late, babe," she slurred, trying to kiss me, lips clumsy and off-center. Girls' night got a little extended. She giggled then, light and breathless. That sound once filled me with warmth. It used to be the kind of laugh I lived for. Now, it scraped against my nerves like broken glass. Something was wrong. Terribly, nauseatingly wrong. This wasn't the first late night, not even close. Over the past few months, her outings with the girls had grown more frequent, her phone more secretive. Missed calls, whispered conversations behind closed doors. Sudden, unexplained shifts in her wardrobe. The way she'd begun to dress, to move, to smile at something on her phone when she thought I wasn't watching. I told myself I was imagining things, that I was being paranoid, that we were just in a rut and things would smooth out again. But the knot in my stomach said otherwise. It had been tightening for weeks. That night, after she collapsed onto bed in a tequila haze, I sat beside her and watched her sleep. I told myself not to do it, to resist the urge. But the suspicion had grown too loud, too sharp. Her phone buzzed on the nightstand. I reached for it. The lock screen lit up. A message from someone saved under Spa Day. "Last night was amazing. Miss you already. X." My breath caught. My chest squeezed. My hands were trembling as I unlocked the phone. The thread between them, her and this Spa Day, went back weeks, months. Text describing stolen moments, lingering touches, late-night meetings under the guise of self-care, sweet nothings and suggestive photos. Promises whispered in the digital dark. And then I found the voicemails. The first one was from him, a man's voice, smooth, confident, far too comfortable. "Hey, beautiful. Just thinking about you. Can't wait to see you tomorrow." I closed my eyes. I already felt sick. The second voicemail was worse. It was her voice. Liliana, light and giddy, like I hadn't heard in years. "Oh, Daniel, I can't stop thinking about you either. Being with you, it's everything." Daniel. The name hit like a blade through the gut. Over and over. Daniel. Every syllable tearing at the foundation of what I thought I knew. The woman I had built a life with, my Liliana, was in love with someone else. And I had the proof right there in my hands. I sat there in the dark, the phone still clutched in my fist. I didn't cry. I didn't shout. I didn't even speak. I just sat, the weight of 10 years pressing against my chest like a stone slab. The fury didn't come immediately. It was a slow burn, a cold, calculating kind of rage that replaced the numbness by morning. When she woke up, groggy and hungover, I greeted her like it was any other day. I made coffee. I didn't mention the texts. I didn't bring up the voicemails. Not yet. Rough night. I asked casually, placing the steaming mug in front of her. She gave a weak smile, eyes avoiding mine. "Yeah, too much tequila. I think we overdid it." "I'm sure you did," I replied, voice calm and steady. "Did you get time to visit the spa too?" That's when her hand slipped. The mug jolted, coffee spilling onto the table. She looked up at me sharply, trying to mask the panic crawling across her features. "What are you talking about?" she asked too quickly. I didn't answer. I simply reached into my pocket, pulled out her phone, and tapped play on the second voicemail. Her voice filled the room, soft, sultry, breathy with excitement. When it ended, she looked like she'd been slapped. Pale, lips parted, hands trembling. "Who is Daniel?" I asked quietly, my voice stripped of warmth. She stared at me like a cornered animal, frozen between fear and guilt. Her mouth moved, struggling for an explanation. I can explain. Explain. My composure cracked. Explain how you lied to me. How you walked through that door with tequila and someone else's perfume on your skin and looked me in the eye like nothing was wrong. I saw her shoulders cave under the weight of it. Over the next few days, the full picture unraveled. Daniel was a colleague she'd met at a marketing conference. A few shared drinks, she said. Then a kiss. Then another. Then weekend trips under the cover of facials and wine nights with friends. She insisted it had been a mistake, that it hadn't meant anything, that it was over. But the way she spoke about him, the softness in her tone, the defensiveness in her posture, I knew it wasn't over. Not really. It was never just a fling. It was betrayal layered and ongoing. I didn't scream. I didn't destroy anything. I just made a decision. I found Daniel. It didn't take long. His entire life was laid out in curated LinkedIn posts and filtered Instagram photos. A polished man in a polished world. Married, of course. 2 children. A carefully guarded image. I waited for him outside his office. The chill in the evening air matched the steel in my chest. When he emerged, our eyes met and he froze. "You're Liliana's husband," he said. I nodded. "We need to talk." I didn't threaten him. I didn't lay a finger on him. I simply showed him everything. The messages, the voicemails. I watched his expression fall apart piece by piece. The smugness peeled away, revealing a man stripped of excuses. He stammered, tried to blame Liliana, then tried to paint himself as caught in something beyond his control. I let him speak until his voice cracked, then said just one thing. "You ruined my marriage. Now you'll know what that feels like." I knew he had a family. And I knew, deep down, this would detonate his life the same way it had shattered mine. I didn't feel joy, just closure. Liliana pleaded for forgiveness in the weeks that followed. She cried. She begged. She promised therapy, change anything. But I was already gone. Emotionally, spiritually, and finally, legally. The divorce came swiftly. She moved out. I sold the house, the one filled with laughter, Sunday pancakes, and whispered midnight dreams. I packed those memories away with the furniture and closed that chapter of my life. Daniel's world collapsed too. His wife left him, took the kids. His career took a hit. His perfect image broken. But there were no winners here. Only wreckage. I rebuilt from the ruins. Slowly, painfully, brick by brick. Some nights I still sat alone, hollowed out by the echoes of what used to be. But day by day, I began to heal. I poured myself into work, reconnected with friends, rediscovered passions that had long gone dormant. I started living again, truly living. And in that process, I found pieces of myself that I hadn't seen in years. Years later, I saw her again, Liliana, in a small coffee shop on a rainy afternoon. She looked older, duller. The light in her eyes had faded. But when we talked, there was no bitterness. Just 2 people who once meant the world to each other, now standing as strangers across a table. She apologized again, and this time, I believed her. I forgave her. Not for her, but for me. Forgiveness was the key that unlocked the final door to freedom. It wasn't forgetting. It wasn't condoning. It was choosing peace over pain. The lipstick smear that once burned my skin, like a brand of betrayal, had long since faded. And so had the anguish. The scars it left were mine, etched into my story like lines in a weathered book. But they didn't define me. They reminded me that I survived, that I endured, and that one day I would love again. And that, I realized, was its own kind of victory.